Undra. I am the founder and creative director of Undra Celeste, New York, a modern workwear brand. I always say I never became a fashion designer. I was always, as far as like in my childhood, my earliest memories are of me spending my time not watching cartoons or playing with, any other toy besides um, Barbies, designing her clothes, making her clothes, cutting up things that I probably had no business cutting up, as my good stuff to make sure she was fabulous. So I always say I've always been a designer. So it kind of came into a more formal um, dream, I would say, after I graduated college. I went to Howard University in Washington, D.C. I studied international business. And after college, I moved to LA for a short while, less than 2 years. And I actually was not working in fashion. I decided to take that time to work in business. Did not like that experience at all. I love LA now to visit, but it's not somewhere where I think I can, thrive. So what happened there is that in order to offset, some of the more like emotional drama that I was going through in LA, I signed up for a sketching class at Long Beach College. It was a community college, and it just gave me such peace and joy. That class, like my whole life literally revolved around this like Tuesday and Thursday class from 6 to 8. Like that was the thing. So after the semester was over, I decided to quit my job and move back to the East Coast, move back to Brooklyn, where I'm actually born and raised, and pursue a career in fashion. I spent about 10 years working in product development for some really awesome brands in the industry, and in 2000, I believe it was 10, I kind of made the solid decision that I wanted to be a design entrepreneur, and that's pretty much how it started. Well, as a young designer, you basically oversee every aspect, but I would say my favorite aspect is the organic evolution of collections. Like I find that when I force designing, those are the times where I have like the biggest misses. When I'm in a mode where things come organically, color palettes come organically, um, storylines come organically, that's the time it's the best. So it's almost like, I am not like, it's almost like the design and the creation is coming through me instead of me pushing it out. So I really enjoy that experience because it's always like I'm excited to see what comes next. Like I'm excited to see how it evolves and how it comes together. Okay, Under Celeste New York is a modern women's wear workwear brand, and by modern workwear, it's basically how the modern woman is today. Women spend a significant amount of time at work, and how you show up at work, it can make a difference on how you feel at work, how you present yourself, how others perceive you. So having a workwear brand is just so important because we outfit a woman for the most, not necessarily the most important hours of her day, but the most significant in terms of how she shows up to the world. Our target customer is, I would say she's a little, initially I thought she was a younger woman, but as the brand has organically evolved, I see that she is a little older, between the ages of say 32 and 55. Still, still working, still raising a family, still has like a very multifaceted life, travels, makes a little coin, not a rich, necessarily, but has a cushion and wants to spend her money on things that are going to serve her life, make her feel good, make her look good, and ultimately, as I said before, allow her to show up in the world as her very, very best self. I'm most inspired by the woman. Like I think about her and I think about like how she how she wants to show up. And I'm like, okay, like, this is great. Like, let's do this, let's do that. And I think about how she moves in the world, and try to let that be the first thing that starts every collection. The second thing for me would be color. I'm really driven by color. And I know, sometimes when we hear modern designs, we think of like the black, white, grays, neutrals, monochromatic colorways. But I think you can be chic and modern and still, infuse color into your wardrobe, and prints and all the things, the fun things that still make dressing interesting and fun. Well, I've worked for a lot of designers. My instinct to start my, I've worked for a lot of designers. My instinct to start my business was mainly that I really felt like I can add to the story. There's probably this narrative out that, there's so many designers. Well, there's a lot of things. There's so many people in the world. When you think about it, every woman in the world, there's no woman in the world that says I don't need clothes. Everybody needs to get dressed in the morning. So I look at it that way, from a place of like abundance. And what allowed me to start my business is because I believe that I have a point of view. And as I said earlier, I don't necessarily think that I became a designer. It's almost like where God would have me to be, and it's where I'm the most happy and content. What am I the most proud of? I am proud of a lot of things. Like, although my brand is still young, there is a lot that has happened. One of those being that the collaboration with LeBron James, HFR, and Nike. Like, that was so. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of the relationships I formed with those young ladies that I worked with. I'm so proud of the message that the collaboration put out in the world about collaboration over competition, about the strength of women of color, about the strength of people of color, about the strength of just the everyday women in our lives and the things that we do. Because the project started because of LeBron and his admiration and his praise for his mom. And of course he is like this mega superstar, this mega athlete, but those sentiments ring through black households like everywhere, all over the world. And that just, to me, was really beautiful, that the world got to see it on that platform, and then I was a part of it. So obviously that's like the most recent, that's like the biggest thing. I'm proud of the staying power that I've had. Like, my brand is this year 5 years old. And, I've consistently been able to put out collections. I've consistently had them be accepted by my customer. I'm in a, I mentioned we, rebranded recently and working on growing the brand. So I'm simply proud that I'm still here, because it's not an easy thing. Like, to just be here, to show up, to be inspired, to be to go another day and do this when it's such a hard thing to do. So I'm really proud, that I'm here. I think my words of wisdom for African American young designers coming in is similar to what I said earlier. Like, you have to be really focused and really good at whatever level you are, right? Like, so yeah, if you're coming out of design school, no, you can't expect your sewing techniques to be like, one of the vets. But for whatever level you are at, be the best of that. Continue to learn, continue to sharpen your craft, and definitely do the whole intern thing, do work for someone else. Everybody would love to work for the big brands, but sometimes it's really good to work for a smaller brand. So a smaller brand that is doing it, and learn, because you get closer to the process, and you get to see the process more closely, as opposed to working for like a huge, international brand where there's so many layers between an intern and a CEO. And be persistent. And one last thing, try to get as niche as possible. It's important. Don't try to be everything to everybody, because nobody will pay attention. There's challenges in the business and in the industry every day. It's funny because industry-wise, when I worked for brands, my challenges were more just more on a personality level, on that level, like, you know, getting people to hear you and to like respect what your work. And I think that's at any job like you go to, but on a business and an entrepreneurial level, the challenges are daily. You know, financing is always the challenge, like, because you need money to grow. But on a daily basis, it's you as a, you know, as a designer and as someone who runs the company, you're using your creative brain to get these beautiful clothes out, but then you have to put on your analytical brain to make decisions about business. And that is the part, like, that can be the most challenging, I think, for most designers. Like, I went to business school, so, you know, I feel like I navigate it okay. If it could be better, if it was two of me, then that would be awesome, but there isn't. But the challenges in business come in making a decision, like making financial decisions, making decisions on where to produce collections, making decisions on production, like making decisions on, after I, you know, designed this 30-piece collection that's beautiful, okay, well, budget says you can only go into production on 50% of it. Picking those styles and saying, what is this girl really gonna, you know, commit to and love? Like, what is she gonna love? What's gonna make her feel the most fabulous? And those are decisions that just happen every day. The ways to overcome them is just to persist, trust your gut. For me, it's trust God, trust the process, trust that even your failures are a lesson. Like, you know, the L in loss really stands for lesson. Like, you have to learn as you go. And, you know, my brand is going on 5 years old. We don't get everything right, but, you know, I think we're on the right track. The thing that has been very important in my journey, I don't know, I would just say, above all of the obvious things, like, like family and the support of the customers who I absolutely love, I think it would be just like my faith. Like, that has really kept me going. Like, I don't know how people go on this journey without like an element of faith and an element of knowing that, you know, you'll be okay because you trust something higher and bigger than yourself. And for me, of course, that's God. So yeah, so that has been the biggest thing. Like, right now, I say, you know, God is like Jesus is like my co-CEO. Like, he's really running the show right now. I'm just here for the long. I'm here for the ride. I'm gonna see what he got going on next. Every collection, there is always a favorite piece. But you know what? I think the thing that one of my favorite things that I've done that I don't do often, but just did for fall 2019 was this coat, and I'll show it to you. So my growing up, like, I had an obsession with older chic black women, and it came originally from my mom, but like Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross, and, you know, more specifically Diana Ross as Tracy Chambers. Like, these were women, like, you know, it was kind of actually weird the way that I liked old stuff and older people growing up. But so Diana Ross in Mahogany, which is my favorite movie, she kind of is like the inspiration behind the brand. Like, she was a working woman and she dressed and she showed up every day like super duper fabulous for work. So I have this coat that I designed, and I just love it because it gives off that vibe, and it's that type of coat that you put it on if you're going to work and like everybody's like, you know, who's she, and it gives off that vibe. So I guess that was my favorite piece for right now. So one of my favorite
pieces in my fall 19 collection, and I think it's kind of like one of my actual favorite pieces, just period, is this. It's called a Tracy Chambers coat. So this is awesome faux fur. This fur has actually gotten me in trouble before because it's such an amazing quality faux fur. Someone was like, "You shouldn't kill animals," and I was like, "Well, I did." So, but again, you have that beautiful lining, the super long belt. Yeah, so I love her. So this, I also would love to share like one of my a piece from my very first collection, and that is this really just fun jacket. So this was from collection 1, and I feel like it still speaks to the girl. Like it's still, obviously this is something she would wear to like a holiday party or something over a black dress or something like that. So it, the aesthetic of modern, bold, fun is always throughout everything that we try to do. Again, something that's really, this blazer here, fall 19 as well, really amazing double-breasted collarless blazer. It looks so chic over what I'm wearing, which is a part of our new fine knit collection. This is actually a 2-piece. The tank and the skirt is coming in a dress. It's coming in a turtleneck version, so turtleneck and skirt. And again, like you can, for me, you can throw this blazer over it, which I'll do. Throw the blazer over it and just kill the first, those 8 hours of your day. As I said, it's not necessarily the most important hours of the day, but it's definitely the most significant and the time of the day where you want to show up as truly your most like authentic self. So we look, and I'll button it. Like I said, this is also our staple. We always have done really great blazers, things that not necessarily a suit, because I think the modern woman, like, if it's something special going on, you're wearing a suit, but for most days you're not really wearing a suit, but you still want to give the polished look of a suit, and I think this look definitely gives that. Throughout the brand, I have designed what is our best-selling dress. It is the Joy dress. It is this dress here. So right here I'm showing it in this beautiful mustard color. This is the color from fall 19. And this dress has come in about 4 iterations right up to this point, and such an array of colors. It's the dress that our woman like goes to when she is going just about everywhere. Time I do like a pop-up or something, they try it on, I've had women literally leave the store in the dress. Like, once you try this dress on, you can't like not do anything but buy it. So it's simple in that it has like a pencil skirt at the bottom, and then it ties, and you can tie it different ways in the front. Super sexy, still modern, very chic, can be a little bit more on the sexy side, can be a little bit more on the conservative side. So just wanted to share that with you. It runs through, it'll probably always be in every collection that I do in different colors, and this was the fall version in this really beautiful mustard. And originally we did a lot of gold because I just love gold, but also still in a very chic way. Like we did this gold motorcycle, and I think this was from the second collection. Motorcycle jacket. Again, she could still do this like to work and with some black trousers. I think originally we did it with a pant, but the pant was the reverse of the fabric. So the pant was the more with the this color is called oxblood. So with the oxblood color being the more prominent color. So again, this is the design aesthetic, to dress women for the most significant 8 hours of the day, for where she wants to show up, where she wants to just be her best, her strongest, her most authentic self.